Gwitch. So I just wanted to do a real quick video today because we are actually on the way out to a family party. I've had a very restful holiday season and I haven't had to see many people, but we are going to, which is great for an introvert like me, but we are going to my sister's for New Year's Eve. And I just thought I'd show up real quick to give you, yay, Sheena, yeah. I actually have rested for, a week or two now. It's great. So I wanted to just share real quick some of the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day folk traditions. And New Year's Day first, because, I want to give you a little bit of prep time. And then we're going to finish with some stuff about New Year's Eve that you can actually do if you're watching this evening. And if you miss it and you catch it later on, then just, write it down somewhere and keep it for next year or whatever. But a lot of it is just basic kind of sympathetic magic. And there's really, really strong traditions for giving extra, or like giving, like in a rural society, as in Ireland, it would have been extra kind of sheaf of corn for the animals, or extra bedding, or extra hay, or, just making sure that they were like super comfortable, as well as the people in the house. And that kind of giving the extra would be abundance. It's the law of attraction way before The Secret. I'm just saying, this stuff goes way, way back. So you kind of give to receive. So you're taking care of the animals and the people in your household, and then that will come back to you then through the year. So we do that at on New Year's Day. One of the other things that's quite related to that is that nothing got thrown out on New Year's Day, and that was really, really important and really strong. And even like the ashes from the fire, or the dirty wash water, or back in the days before plumbing, or possibly even like night soil and stuff like that, that again would have been, if it was kind of in potties in the house, not to get too graphic on it, but nothing was thrown out on New Year's Day. So as you're pottering around tomorrow and you're having those chocolate wrappers and everything, just keep them in the house, okay? Make sure that the bins don't get taken out, or I'm sure flushing the toilets is going to be fine, but don't, just be intentional about, Sheena, we got there at the same time. We can flush the toilets, I'm sure it's fine, but just be intentional about kind of, what's leaving the house. And even at that, I'd be saying, if you're flushing it, or as you're flushing a toilet tomorrow, in my mind, that always kind of translates to like, I'm getting rid of the shit from my life. So I'm kind of using that in a positive way, with the energy of the day and the traditions of the day. So way too much about my toilet habits than you ever really needed to know, but there you go. Another thing is that people didn't spend money on New Year's Day. And that was kind of really important, that, and for me, like, that's not always possible. It's not always practical. Obviously, if you need something, you're going to go out and get it. But I do try and be very intentional if I do spend money. I don't spend money frivolously. I make sure that, the money that I'm spending is actually being invested. And again, the money leaving the house. So if money is leaving your house, leaving your hand, leaving your purse, you got to be real careful about, what's going, why it's going, and any kind of investment that you're making is going to be something that you want to carry on for the year. So, if you have frivolous spending, hopefully it's all done over the holiday season, and, you can really start to think and be intentional about where you're sending your energy and where you're sending your money, signified by how you behave on New Year's Day. Okay. So another couple of things where, if there was a flood on New Year's Day, that it was supposed to indicate rising prices for the year. So it was a bit of a dire kind of sign of warning. And the other thing, and I've never quite been able to like figure out exactly where this is coming from, but there is a very regular tradition that I see coming up in the folklore about going to the well, that you don't go to the well on New Year's Eve, and if you do, you're going to drown. So I can't quite kind of logically make sense. Comment if you kind of have any thoughts or ideas on that, like sympathetic magic wise, or where that's coming from. I'm sure it's something obvious that I'm just not thinking of right now, but That's definitely a strong part of the folklore tradition as well. So New Year's Eve, it is New Year's Eve as I'm recording this, live streaming this. Sheena says it'd be better for bringing something in for the year. Yeah, absolutely. The stores are closed for the day here. Yeah. And, you know, again, just be careful on New Year's Day. Be careful, be intentional about where you're putting your energy, where you're putting your money, where you're putting your waste, you know, and what's coming in and what's going out. Okay. So on New Year's Eve, it's said that if you get all your cleaning done on New Year's Eve, so if you're not busy, get busy. If you get your New Year's Eve cleaning done, then you're going to have a clean house. And if you kind of go into the new year with the the dirt from the last year in your house, then it's going to stay there for the whole year. So that was quite a strong tradition as well. If a wind from the west blows in, then it is good luck. So it's one of the totems that's looked out for. Get the vacuum out, yeah. So those are some of the things about New Year's Eve. And the one kind of final thing that I'm going to leave you with, and if you like this, by the way, subscribe, because I'm going to be doing a lot more folklore through 2019. It's one of my not resolutions, but one of my goals, I suppose. I'm really liking the video content that I've been doing. So hopefully I'll get better at it. And I'm not promising any mad editing or kind of weirdness like that. It's pretty much going to be me and my webcam. But we might get a little bit crazy through the year. We'll see how it goes. But before we just get on to that final point, do like, subscribe, share, comment, do all those lovely things, and hit the bell notification so that you get notice when those videos go up. Okay, so the final thing then that I'd say for tonight, if you're watching this on New Year's Eve, is that it is a dark-haired man. It's either the man of the house or a boy of the house, or kind of any dark-haired man will do, is to leave the house before midnight and then come back in after midnight. And this tradition is very, very common, but like is changes with like in the details through all different counties all over Ireland. But like sometimes they bring something with them, a bit of turf or coal. Sometimes they come in and they give money. But one of the really common things is that they're the first one through the door, and they bring the luck with them, and that you give them something for the luck. So a glass of wine or even a coin or something is kind of given so that there's that reciprocity. And you know, this kind of comes back to you hear me banging on about it all the time, about relationship and right relationship, and that kind of represents the relationship between you and the energies or the forces that are kind of happening out in the world and your household or yourself. And one of the things that is said when they come back in is blow out the old, blow in the new, blow out the false, and blow in the true. And it's just, I mean, obviously it's in English, it's a little kind of folk rhyme. And yeah, so if you wanted to do a little ritual this evening, a dark-haired man or a dark-haired woman, I'm sure that there is, I haven't really gone into the negative folklore, there is negative kind of, you know, if you see a red-haired woman, it's going to be bad luck and all sorts of other stuff, which is kind of rooted in patriarchy. So, you know, I'm okay not really focusing on that. But if you do happen to have access to a dark-haired man or young man in your household, then get them to leave just before midnight and come back in. They'll be freezing standing outside, get them to come back in. And as they come back in, either they say or you say or everyone says, make it a family affair, and blow out the old, blow in the new, blow out the false, and blow in the true. And hopefully you will have a fantastic year, whether you see this on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day or not. And, you know, if you do catch this after, don't worry and, you know, be kind of kicking yourself about, oh, I threw out such and such on New Year's Day and that's why I have bad luck for the year. Like, you know, just go with it. Go with it. Sheena says it's true in Scotland tradition too. Yep. And there's an entire omen based on the first one through the door after midnight. Yeah, absolutely. You can totally set that up, or you can, you know, work some divination around it and see what happens. But But yeah, work it with whatever's working with your household and your own traditions and your own practices. But I just wanted to share it with you so that you're aware of it at least and you have options. Okay. And if you don't catch it for this year, make sure that you just write it down somewhere, keep a bullet journal, keep a list, keep a post-it, and put it away with the Christmas decorations. Maybe put a little note in your Christmas decorations box when you're putting them away, or your holiday decorations, and you'll remember then for next year. Okay. So slán go fóill, and I really, really wish, I know that a lot of us do our New Year at Samhain, and my kind of New Year cycle has already started, and I've definitely begun working on all that. But I do mark the calendar year as well, and as you can see, it is quite important in the Irish folk tradition. So I do kind of keep an eye on what's happening, and a lot of my, my fresh start stuff is happening around now as well. So all my kind of planning and my gestation and everything has pretty much been done, and now we step forward into the new calendar year with positive actions. So that's where I'm at, so I wanted to share it with you. And like I said, thank you, Sheena. Like I said, do like and subscribe, and you'll get more of this through 2019. So slán go fóill.